welcome to Friendship Baptist Church. We're so glad that you have tuned in with us today. Hope that everyone is having a great day, and I hope that you can learn something today about God. And the more you know about God, the better it is for you. As I was driving down the road the other day, an old 70s song came on. The title of it was Cats in the Cradle. And the gist of the song is this: the man had a son. The son wanted to spend time with his dad, and his dad was too busy working. And the son would say something to his dad, and his dad would say, "We'd do it someday. We'll do it later. I'm too busy." And then as the song goes, the child grows up, and he goes off to college, and the dad calls him and says, "Hey, I'd like to spend time with you." And the son says, "Sorry, Dad, I need the car keys." And in the next verse, you hear it where the dad calls the son who has moved out of town, is married, and got his own children, and the dad says, "I'd sure like to see you." The son says, "Sorry, Dad, the kids have the flu, and it's been nice talking to you." And so I got to thinking about that. We all make excuses why we don't have enough time. I've heard men say, "I don't have enough time. I don't have time to be nice to my wife. I don't have time to do this, and I don't have time to do that." God created time. And I want to tell you what the Bible says about it. It says this: it says, "To everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under heaven. A time to be born and a time to die. A time to plant and a time to pluck up that which is planted. A time to kill and a time to heal. A time to break down and a time to build up. A time to weep and a time to laugh. A time to mourn and a time to dance. A time to cast away stones and a time to gather stones. A time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing. A time to get and a time to lose. A time to keep and a time to cast away. A time to rend and a time to sow. A time to keep silence and a time to speak. A time to love and a time to hate. A time of war and a time of peace." Of course, in heaven there is no time, and God created time. He created the night and the day, and He's the one that put everything in place, and we all have the same amount of time. So here's what I'd like to talk about. What are you doing with the time that God has given you? Are you wasting that time? Me being an older guy now, I look back on my younger life and never thought I'd get as old as I am now. Or I did think about getting old like I am now, but I thought that'd be a long time off. And I see a lot of men and women who waste their time on the pursuits of fame, fortune, pleasure, money, and they negate the time that they have to spend with their family. How many times would you think that you'd like to go back and talk to your mom or to your dad or to your grandparents? So as we go about our daily life, are you spending time with God? Are you letting Him direct you and guide you? See, we can't go back, but we can go forward. And you might say, "Well, preacher, I've wasted a lot of time." That's okay. God can forgive you of that, and God can take you where you are. But let's stop making excuses. I went over and heard a man speak not long ago in Huntsville. The gentleman was born with no arms, and yet he travels this country by himself speaking about what Jesus had done for him. Showed a video of him lying down and pumping gas in his car with his feet. Yes, he drives. He said, "My dad told me that if I say no, I'm going to get whipped." And what the dad was saying is, don't make excuses. So we need to look at that. God loves us. He has demonstrated His love for us. And yet we make excuses. I don't have time to go to church. I don't have time to read my Bible. I don't have time to pour my life into my kids or pour my life into my family. Yes, you do have time. And I submit to you that we make time for what is important. I see people who they're bound and determined they're going to take 2 or 3 vacations a year, and that's fine. But you know what? They always find time and they always find money for that because it's important to them. So what's important to you, and what do you spend your time on? I spend my time as much as I can in God's Word. And what I have found, the more time I spend in God's Word, the more time I want to be there. Because I'm there to get a blessing from God. I'm there to lift up God's name and to glorify Him. And also what I found is the closer I get to God, the more the things of this world are not worth anything. Everything that we accumulate, everything that we work so hard to get, everything that we strive to hold on to is going to be taken away from us at one time or the other. We're all going to die. I said there's a time to be born and a time to die. Somebody else is going to get your car. Somebody else is going to have your house. Somebody else is going to have this and have that. What are you pouring into your family? What are you pouring into God's work? What are you doing with your time? See, I can't answer that, but you can. And I want to challenge you to look at your life. See what you're doing with your time. Are you wasting it on things that have no eternal consequences? Are you bettering yourself by getting closer to God? We have all kind of programs about how to better yourself, how to be successful. I'm going to tell you how to be successful. Surrender your life to God. Die daily and let Him lead you and guide you. I've been at the deathbed of many, many people. I've never heard one say, I wish I'd have made more money, or I wish I had spent more time at the office, or I wish I had done this, I'd done that. All they say is, I wish I had spent more time with God, and I wish I'd spent more time with my family. So I want to challenge you. Look at your time. What are you putting yourself into that is of no value? God loves you. He wants to invest in you. In fact, He's already invested the most important thing that He could, and that's His Son. And His Son died on the cross for you and for I, that we may have life and have it more abundantly, and that we may spend forever with Him. Do you want to take your family to heaven? Quit talking to them about politics and about sports. Talk to them about Jesus. Let them know what's right here. I promise you, they know what's important to you. They know if God's important to you, or they know if this other thing is important to you. Don't be like the man who I just told you about, who called his son and said, I want to spend some time with you. And the son said, sorry, Dad, I don't have time. See, that's the amazing thing about our Heavenly Father. You may have pushed Him away many, many times, but when you earnestly desire and seek His face, He'll be there. He will listen, He will talk, and He will comfort you because He loves you. If you don't have a church, we'd like to encourage you to come to the little church by the road. We're certainly not a perfect church. We all here are human and we all make mistakes. But I can tell you this, we love the Lord and we love each other. And we would like to encourage you and to lift you up. We'd like to pray for you. So if you're looking for a church home or just somewhere where you want to go and see what it's all about, I just want to tell you, just come see what's happening here. You may be surprised. I promise you this, you'll feel the love of God if you come to the little church by the road. So I want to thank you for listening and pray for us. Friendship Baptist Church, P.O. Box 3, Killen, Alabama, 35645. Thanks very much.